What's up, buds? Welcome to WeeDnD, the pot-positive live tabletop role-playing game show experience. I will be your dungeon master for the evening. My name is Brandon Allen McClenahan, and I hail from fair Las Vegas, Nevada. Glorious. Thank you guys so much for all the support that we've received for this show so far. It has been an absolute blast getting your fan art submissions. Be sure to check at intermission and catch all those. All the messages and reach outs and shares and likes. It's so amazing, and my heart is swelling with love for all of you. Everybody hanging out in chat every week. That is just a party and a half, and we love you guys. And a real big thank you to all the other D&D groups that are starting to reach out to us as we kind of show up on the scene. It's such a great community, and we are blessed to be a part of it. If there's any way that we can help each other or that you need anything from us at all, just reach out, man. Like I love hearing from all you guys. Big shout out to D&D 420. The guys over there have been really great to us so far in this early stage. And so if there's any way we can pay that back to you, we absolutely want to. So thank you so much for the support. And thank you again for dealing with our technical issues. There's a lot of stuff with internets and computers and different locations and people across the country. And honestly, Isaac, our man, is doing a hell of a job. Thank you, Isaac.
Woo! Yeah, give me praise.
Oh, you didn't see that, but it was friggin' sweet. So thank you, Isaac. You're the man. That's enough for me. I just can't wait to introduce this sexy cast. So let's just jump right into that. I am going to take this bad boy and toast it with my girl, Brenna here. Hey, Brenna, how you doing, girl?
Oh, hey. Hey, buds. It's Brenna, but you guys know me as Brunor the Sea Serpent, and I am so excited to jump back into this and see what the shit happened with all of us. So join us on this adventure, and I think I'm going to pass this one over to Drew.
Cheers. Yo, what's up, buds? Drew here, Thoricus Onyx Heart. Yeah, we've been taking it to Fucktown quite a few times, and want to continue that little journey. Hope you guys are coming along with us. It should be a good one. So I'm going to pass this one off to, I believe I passed this off to Goss. Yes. Cheers, buddy.
Yo, appreciate it, Drew. Hey, my name is Gus Langley, and if you don't know by now, you're fixing to fuck around and find out. Tonight I'm going to be playing Divot, and we're going to have a lot of fun. All right? Yo, I'm going to pass this off to the next player on the list, Miss Abby.
Cheers. What's up, guys? Abby Dandy in here. Tennis Smooth Hands is excited to see what's in store for the 5. Let's do it. Cheers, Jake.
Hey, cheers, Abby. And thank you, buds, for sticking with us on this amazing adventure. We seriously could not do it without you. So give yourself a nice little And tonight I'll be stepping back into the size 11 elven shoes of Real Othravan, the arcane trickster rogue, with big feet, apparently. What that means. All right, and let's cheers off to our dungeon master and begin.
Boom. All right, guys. Well, we got a little ritual. I'm going to call it a ritual instead of whatever word I just said. A little ritual around these parts. Maybe you know about it, maybe you don't. But we like to take our lighters and go, lighters up. All right, dudes. Let's play some D&D.
WeeDnD, high fantasy, literally for you and me. So load up, roll, and make a roll to take control. WeeDnD.
All right, let's jump into it. Here we go. When last we left the Ferocious Five, they stood before the crumbled ruins of the Temple of Erasdul, where Rial at long last confronted his longtime captor and the source of his torture for 7 long and arduous years, Ergon, the mad archmagus of the Cloister of Trees. They proved victorious against the ghostly visage of Ergon. Yet, however, the 5 paid a heavy price. Brennor, Divot, and Rial's bodies were each aged 20 years forward in time by the powerful dark curses of the Twisted Wizard. And most solemnly of all, the voice of Martha Goutshire, fallen friend of the 5, lingers heavily in their minds and in their hearts as they collect themselves amidst the moist and dank air of the haunting Mirkwood. The sun sits still, unmoving in the sky.
What? What the fuck? What was that? Oh,
I have no idea.
oh shit. Did you guys see how I acted in there? How fucking weak I was? There's no fucking way I'm gonna be able to do anything I need to do with this being this weak. What happened?
I don't think now is a good time to dwell on negativity like that.
What?
We need to move forward.
She did age 20 years, so
We can
seek the answer. Let's move on. But before we do, I'd like to lead a solemn prayer for our fallen friends. If I could, does anyone like to join me?
Aye.
Thank you, Riel. Would you like to say anything?
Let's just keep the kindness of Martha in our own hearts, as we must indeed move forward, but let us not forget her, as she would never have forgotten us.
Indeed, her warmth touched us all, and Divot, please.
You see the words hang silently in the air as plumes of dust still hang in the air from the fallen temple of Eraz-Dur. The gloom that was present with the presence of Ergon still lingers like a thick shadow over the trees around you.
Her kindness touched each and every one of us. The guilt within me knows no end. I want to honor her memory. Let's move on and leave this terrible place and lead our joyous lives while we have them.
agreed.
Agreed.
Right. I guess.
She believed in all of us, you know, and we couldn't do anything. And I don't know if I'm ever going to believe in anything again now.
Divot, we tried. We did everything that we could.
Each of us used our abilities to their extent. The timing was just our downfall.
I should have done more.
Again, this is not the time for blaming.
We can discuss this as we move.
Yes.
We have time on this journey ahead of us.
Yes.
We must rest also.
Let's get back to Ubaru and the elf child and Brian and see how they fare.
Hopefully they haven't been eaten.
Hopefully.
Why would you even say that?
That was so terrible. Why would you say that?
Is that what you're thinking about right now?
Brian, you really think that Brian would...
I spent 7 years in a cell. My sense of levity is a bit off. I apologize.
Touche.
Are we resting before we leave or after we leave?
So you look
Get out of
around,
this fucking-
you see, the area around you is definitely one of a lingering darkness. You certainly can attempt to, take a short rest, a 1 hour rest in which you can use your hit dice to heal yourself, as many of you have been pretty wounded in this battle. But because it is an area with some danger, you don't know if you would necessarily be safe for that whole time.
I think we should move on, find somewhere safer, and take a long rest. Don't you guys?
Agreed.
Fine, I already start walking. I just walk ahead of everybody.
I'm gonna get drunk and sleep for 2 days.
I'm for that.
I'm gonna rush up to Brenor,
All right,
and I want to speak privately with Brenor.
So Divot, Rial, and Thoricus, you guys, start kind of gathering yourselves to get ready for the journey ahead, and picking the path of least resistance. If you so choose, the central path that cuts directly through the forest, the same path where you had tried to save Martha from the shadows of Achaeus. As you do, you see Tina step off
Keep
to the
bringing
side.
up old shit.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Twist in the
so-
knife.
Because I don't feel bad enough
Being
already.
sad.
Thanks.
Gotta twist the knife, man. Gotta twist the
Jeez.
knife. And you see Tina Smoothhands walk over to Brenor as Brenor, starts to walk off by herself. Tina rushes up and catches up with her. You see they're kind of talking to each other in a volume that you're not really hearing. So go ahead, Tina.
After doing this, can we search those boxes underneath that bridge or whatever that debris was that you mentioned twice before?
Yes, you can.
Oh my
so
gosh.
if you want, you can just kind of like lead the way, leave them to their talks, and kind of head through this central logger's path that takes you back to where you saw several boxes and sacks of rice and such.
It was the rice that
piled.
got me, guys.
It was the rice.
Damn it, Drew.
Under the bridge, the perilous bridge that Tina Smoothhands nearly, fell off of during the chase. So we'll do you three after we play out this exchange with Tina and Brunor. So you see the boys start walking off. Divot, aged 20 years, as a human, that age probably hits him the worst. You see he's not moving quite as spryly as he once would. A dexterous and quick man normally. You see the effect of the age on him. And Brenor, that makes you, look down and reflect on your own skin, once pure and blue, now starting to fade to like a blue-green color, like a kelp in the water. And, suddenly keenly aware of this magical curse that's sitting on your body. You see Tina approach you.
Brenner, what's with the attitude? I'm not trying to downplay what happened to you, but we need to keep moving. And perhaps we can find out how to break this curse on you in our direction that we move.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm trying to just control my temper. That's it. So I'm trying to control my temper, and
Is there something else on your mind?
If I didn't help at all in there. I didn't help at all. I was like the weakest I've ever
we all
been.
feel guilty right now. We all of us feel guilty, and that's not productive. We need to be productive. We can't just sit around crying and feeling sorry for ourselves. People's lives are in danger.
I'm not crying.
Okay, I didn't say that you were crying. I'm sorry.
I'm not crying.
It's okay if you are, though.
Okay, but I'm not.
Okay, but you're not. It's okay if you are. And you can tell me if you want to.
Fine. It's fine. But I can't be so weak. I've been working so hard to get so strong, and I need to get back home, and I can't do that now. And we need to figure this out.
Okay, are you gonna do it by yourself?
No, I'm just going first. I'm a fast walker.
Yeah, but there's rice over here.
You hear through the trees.
Are you eavesdropping on our conversation?
I'm not.
You guys look over in the trees, and there's just three shadowy figures just like peeking through the branches.
We're having a private conversation over here.
Which is why we had to get closer to hear it.
All right, can we move on?
Yes.
All right,
keep
all right.
going.
Let's go.
All right. So, heavy moment. Brenor, the life of a solo adventure, working for yourself so long to build the strength, that you need to complete your ultimate goal. Feeling this power fleeting from your hands, the encouraging words of Tina Smoothhands, a welcome ally in your troubles. And the antics of the other boys. You guys all move kind of together in a predetermined formation that now you just seem to move in all the time. Thoricus and Brunor leading the way, Tina sandwiched in between with Rial and Divot in the back, prepared to, provide ranged aid or magical abilities as needed. You feel, as you move, a stronger purpose resonating within yourselves. Now, for those that didn't catch our last live stream, the Ferocious Five have now leveled up to level 4. So this moment is when you start feeling your connection to these new powers. Thoricus, you realize that you have found a new team, like a new army to be a part of. And that feeling of camaraderie bolsters your strength. You feel your fingers moving, Lucille, much easier than before as that inbound strength from all this battle testing, swells through you. Tina, your connection with Thera's Dune, seemingly feeling like he places a hand on your shoulder. You feel getting closer and closer to your divine power source. Each of you individually, as you have your various gains, Rial, who had to fight me so hard to get his ability point increase, more dexterous, more alert, more prepared to act in an instant. The bow, your weapons, you're now proving yourself as an adventurer, and your abilities are honing. And so each of the 5 of you moves with a little more grace, and you feel, rather than walking upon the earth, that you are setting your feet on your path as you move forward to go loot these boxes under this bridge.
Right. Yeah.
That was just like a little boom. Here's, you all leveled up in that moment, in a Final Fantasy-esque moment of clarity to each of your own divine purposes and your connection with the group. Your powers have grown. Now, unfortunately, you're still tired and weak. Rial, close to death.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize how close I came to killing you. And so that was close. But yes, so you haven't had a chance to heal or anything, but you do have access to some new abilities and strengths.
Yeah. Friends.
So awesome. So you guys
Hell
move
yeah.
forward through this little path, the same path, and unfortunately, after about 100 feet, Rial, Divot, and Thoricus, you stop in your tracks a little bit.
Again?
And
You're going to do it again?
You see the crossing. The spot in which that shadow held you for so long. You remember seeing down the path.
Aww.
And then the shadow covering your vision. And the next time you saw Martha, she was in the temple and in a great deal of danger.
Yeah, can we just move on?
Yeah, let's get
Please?
going.
Can
Let's
we-
get going.
I can't.
This place is
This place
bad
is
memory.
worst.
So you actually, in that instant, Thoricus, you realize you wouldn't let these thoughts into your mind normally. But there's something about the creeping darkness in the murk wood that's starting to taint your thoughts.
Uh-oh.
I don't like that.
Uh-oh, Pescadios.
Yeah. We've got to get out of here soon.
Yes.
I'm getting real dark in here.
Yeah. So let's hurry up and loot this shit and get back to camp.
All right. So you go through right past the point. You can still see some of the heavy giant bear footprints in the mud from where Divot's form of his giant, the six-eyed bear outfit that he put on with his mantle of inspiration.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Step over the cold mud and you feel it suck your feet a little bit. It's like it's trying to keep you there in this dark.
Hell yeah, it sucks toes.
Ugh, that's extra.
And you come around the bend and you see, the rock face with the ivy vines that twist down the gray slate rocks of the path that Tina and Rial had chased and managed to successfully save Ubaru. And below it, you see the as described, the boxes from previously. You walk up to it, and you would assume, just with their location, they look like they've been there a while. The wood on them seems a little damp and like mud caked. Some little some moss is like growing on certain areas in the box. So it's like these have maybe were left here for some purpose, but they have been here a while. So go ahead and I'm going to have you do a treasure check. So give me a 1d100 on this. This, you successfully came back to this. I'm not going to lie, I was trying to tempt you during the chase a little bit. But hey.
Who's doing it? All of us?
No, just Thor.
Everybody was gonna die
Oh,
anyway.
my
It was his right idea.
Oh, let's see what you got.
Yeah, I did it
Awesome.
one time.
What did you roll, bud?
45.
45.
See, there we go. See, why doesn't Tina get to do it? She got a 93.
Can we see what I got for fun?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Shits
With
and
a
gigs, if you will.
Yeah.
you would have got. I'm just gonna tell you, Tina. You would have got a second level spell scroll, but instead,
Wow.
So you managed to go up to the boxes, and again, some little roots and stuff have kind of grown over the corners of them. The murkwood seems to digest everything within it, and so too are these boxes being reclaimed by the earth. And so you walk up with Lucille and just kind of pry a corner of her heft in between two planks, and you push down on it, and some of the wood busts. But it's so damp that no splinters come off. You just see it kind of fold, rip apart, and you toss open the top. You see a bunch of bottles of various sizes, and at one point probably filled with various colors, but most of them are broken. It would appear as if this box maybe fell some distance. And as you kind of tinker through, your fingers trying to avoid the broken glass, you see rested at the very bottom a slight red potion with a gold top. You have seen these before. This is a healing potion.
Cool.
So you
Divot,
put
don't open this one.
But you look through the rest of the boxes, and like I said, you see a bunch of rice and some grains and some wheat. It's kind of just standard shipping fare. But everything is pretty much worm-eaten at this point. You open up the bag of rice that so appealed to Thoricus, and you see like a bunch of like maggots and worms just kind of growing in it. Again, like not normal for such creatures to be feeding on granary, but there's something about this wood that just wants to devour everything within it.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of
Yeah,
here.
let's leave.
Please. This place is the worst.
Yeah, this is.
Can we give Rial this healing potion, perhaps, Thoricus?
Absolutely. I don't need it. Pop's got hit HP for days.
All right,
I
that would
really
be
love that.
Yeah.
Oh, wouldn't that be
I
just
mean, you could hold on to it, and I could heal you.
I was gonna say, don't you guys have some healing spells? Why would we waste a potion that can be used anytime?
Do you guys have? Does anyone have a spell that would reverse age?
I don't think I do. No.
Adventurers,
So sorry.
not gods. Okay.
Whatever.
Let's wait until 15 to 20 level, and then we'll talk about doing stuff like that.
Whatever.
What the
I'll
fuck
take
is
what
he
I
talking
can get.
Let's heal Rial. I'm gonna cure wounds.
Thank you. This hole in my chest starting to hurt a little bit.
Yes.
Breathing out.
So Tina, you tap into this new wisdom, that you've gained in your experience from the journey thus far, and like I said, you feel an imbued connection to the god Tharizdun, as if now his eyes fall upon you from time to time. He's aware of your presence.
Senpai noticed me.
So go ahead and roll a d8 for me for how much you heal. Ooh, unfortunately, rolling a 1. You see Tharizdun was looking at you, and you got all like hopped up and impressed that you didn't completely focus, and you kind of
Too flashy.
Yeah, you got a little too pumped up, like before when you fell on the seeing yourself as the hero.
It's not a magic trick.
But you still get your wisdom is now +3, if I'm correct. You would still heal 4 hit points to Rial.
All right.
I will take it. Thank you for sharing your abilities.
Of course. I'll be stronger once I heal. I'll be able to help out a little bit more, but so will you.
So again, Tina passes her hands over some of the wounds of Rial, and you see some of them closed, but so wounded is he in mind and body that even though some of his external wounds have been repaired through the healing magic, much of the damage that you have incurred is psychological. You've Rial coming to grips with the with your captor after so long, and the fear of hearing his laugh in your mind, and you can still feel him in the trees around you, as if each of these individual trees has a root that somehow taps into his dark power. And so even though, Tinnis has supplied you with healing to handle your exterior wounds, much of your damage still remains, and it's weighing a heavy toll on you in the moment.
I don't think staying here is good for any of us. Let's move.
Yeah, the faster we can get the frick out of here, the better.
Yeah.
At least you can't see all the way through my chest hole anymore.
That was getting kind of gross.
We'll rest soon.
Pretty gross.
Yeah.
So
All right.
we keep walking.
All right, so you guys.
Wow. How do you feel though? Really?
Pretty awful.
Okay. Okay. Fuck.
This is something we can discuss on the journey, however.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's
Yeah. Get the fuck
walk
out
and
of here.
talk. Let's walk and talk.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys turn around, and once more, unfortunately, you have to cross the crossroads where Divot and Thoricus
Tried.
watched and tried as hard as they could, by which Martha did think doing, saying you had done all you could. In a moment, your minds linger on that space, and then with the help of your allies and a renewed sense of purpose, you push forward. Around the bend, back just around the river bend, just around the tree bend here, back by the gravel road where all of you decided to split. Thoricus, you feel your orders that you gave, demands that you had sent to each of your team, the plan that you thought would be perfectly executed. You feel this weird pull drawing you to look back at the space behind you, and in a moment, your friends just kind of capture you in their arms and continue walking you forward and out of the wood, and you feel that guilt and shame fading away as you get away from the skeletal fingers of the trees of the Mirkwood.
That place was the worst.
Yeah.
Can we never go back there?
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Oh.
All right, so you guys, you exit through the same, break in the trees, the loggers path that you first had followed, and you pop out back on that original road where you first fought the bear, the giant bear, and the wolves in the form of the shadows of Machias. You look around with a solemn feeling. You just look over your shoulders back at the Mirkwood, and from far away, it almost seems like all the trees are being pulled toward the center.
Ugh.
Mm.
Oh. Yeah, let's keep walking back.
Glad to be out of that place.
Yeah.
But yes, these dark lingering thoughts that have been interrupting your minds, pardon me for planting shameful narrative in your brain.
Fine.
Though that was some effect that has been weighing on each of you.
I don't like
place.
it.
That place was depression.
Yeah.
In a depression in a wood.
Yeah.
Wood depression.
Fucker.
All right, so you guys walk down the road, past the two large rocks where the bear and the wolf leapt from behind, and Brenor, for a moment, you remember how funny that moment was when Brian saw the illusion food laying on the ground, and after you had put him into safety, he got too excited and put himself into danger, and you find yourself missing your companion and friend. You continue walking down the path, into the trees and green grass hills that lead the way to the Tilmore refugee camp. And when you arrive, you see all the familiar sights of your last time here. You do notice that the tents, the small camps that were set up, are seemingly growing in number. Like the people that are here are deciding that they might be here for a while and are starting to set up canvas tents, all of different styles, kind of signifying where they're from in the region. Some of these people were from the Shattered Isles, but people had come from far and wide in this region to reap in the bounty of the harvest ritual that ended up causing so much chaos. You look down and you see a new band, a pack of tents has popped up around where Ubaru's mercantile area was, and you can see him actually, Ubaru in his tattered purple robes, long gaunt skin, darkened from much time in the sun. You see him laying on one of those big purple pillows that he had set up for weary adventurers, and he's just laying back, and you see him holding this little silver intricate teacup and plate that you guys had drinks from the last time.
Mm-hmm.
You see, he still seems to be pretty weary. He's almost half laying down still and just taking sips from this little cup. You see the silver, large rings in his ear hanging and pulling his ears down, and he doesn't seem to notice that you're there. In front of you, beyond that, you see a tipped-over pot, which you recall when last you saw Martha was dishing out food to nearby refugees. And you see that in some manner of haste, this pot has now been tipped over and its contents spilled on the ground. But standing there, enjoying himself profusely, a big fan of Martha's cooking, Brian the crocodile is sitting there. He's got his face buried in this big giant iron pot, and you see his little tail is waggling, and he's just going to town on this like rotting stew that's on the ground.
I see him, and I just want to whistle him over. I want to just whistle him over, and I want to be like, Brian man, do 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 do.
All right, so yeah, all of a sudden you see his tail shoots straight out. His body tenses up, and then he turns so quickly that his head isn't all the way out of the pot yet. And so you see Brian the crocodile, 10 feet long, with thick, dark scales, and a pretty massively strong body, especially for somebody that swims more often than not. This crocodile seems pretty efficient on land. You see him turn, and the pot is still hanging off the tip of his nose. He turns, and then you can see he can't really tell where you're at, and the pot's in his face, but he's too excited, so his little feet just start hopping, and he's pushing himself through the mud, and you see he's actually going a little away from you because he can't see through the metal pot. As Stu, slips down on his back.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine. Brian, he'll be fine. He'll figure it out. I
The iron pot finally falls off, and Brian
Come here, my sweet boy.
Slithering over.
Come here, my sweet boy.
Like a pet after a long time. He's rubbing his big, dinosaur-like face on your legs, and just seems to be basking in your affection.
Oh.
I'm gonna keep giving him such a good boy scritches. That's what I'm gonna do. Just keep giving him scritches.
So as you scratch, you realize that his scales are starting to flake a bit. You have your ritual of salt baths with Brian, and it's been a while, and he was just he just went through some like dirty water in the Mirkwood, and so you see his scales are starting to shed a little bit. You can see he could use a little TLC. But as you scratch and everything, you see he wiggles in appreciation.
Can I do that over a rest?
Let's set up camp, guys.
I was gonna say, if we could go do a camp rest.
Yeah.
That'd be, I don't know.
Your camp, if you recall, is actually right by where you guys
Oh,
are.
yeah.
Nice.
You see nobody, everybody seems to at least respect you enough to have not gone through any of your things, maybe that could be a potential risk moving forward, but all of your tents stand. And in fact, there's little baskets of various fruits, and you see a couple animal skins and stuff. It seems like the people of the refugee camp, not so much the town of Tillmore, but the refugees that you saved, are leaving you gifts of appreciation of some kind.
Cool.
You do finally, now that you've had your moment, you're looking around, and there's like a strange tension in the air. You guys especially have now dealt with this for several days. The sun has been frozen in place. So you see everybody's skin, the various humans and farmers that are walking around, their skin is dark and starting to peel, like the intensity of the sun for so long is cooking their skin a little. And you see as the people are walking around, in their little brown cloth tunics, mostly farmers that had come to reap the rewards of the harvest festival, you see their shoulders are kind of slumped, and there's just a heavy feeling in the air, like no nighttime means no sleep, and no sleep means angry people. So there's a palpable tension in the air around you.
Huh.
So,
Well, head to camp. Do you guys want to say hi to Obaro first?
I feel like we have to tell him
Yeah.
about.
Martha.
We don't
We have
tell
to.
him everything, but we have to tell him that we didn't save Martha.
Yeah.
I also would like to wish him well.
you're right.
Yeah.
So,
We need to rest, but we need to see him first.
and
I need
the
to have a
reptile's not very.
smoke with my man and talk about Our Lady.
Yeah.
Should we wait until after we rest, allow him to kind of come to his senses a bit? He's gone through quite a lot.
It is true.
I'm not.
Man, if we're about to take a rest, if he's in bad shape, I might help him out.
Yeah.
Like an
Yes.
HJ?
Yeah, Gus being a bard, he's
Well, half and half.
his songs will heal. His song of rest is helpful in your recovery.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All
Get
right,
it.
you begin walking over to the mercantile area. Let me move you guys over, to the mercantile area. And you see, all these new tents, like I said, kind of set up behind it. It looks like there, what supplies Ubaru had left have been kind of just set out on this cart that anybody can grab from as they come by. It looks like it's been mostly picked pretty clean at this point, but you see a couple old like bread crusts and things sitting in, filtered through baskets on this cart. You see Ubaru's, tent that you've sat at a few times already, and as you start walking up, without where he couldn't even see you, you notice Ubaru almost feels your presence. He leans forward. You can tell his body aches from being drugged through the murkwood, and he the five.
Yeah.
The five, and he begins to smile. The Shadow Piercer himself. He tips his cup at you, Rial. I'm David, the Lightning Dodger. Takes a sip. And then he looks up. And you see he starts looking around. He sees each of the five of you. He seems to be looking for someone else.
Who are you looking for?
I fear Martha. And you see he coughs. Oh, his body hurts. He lays back a little bit. He's in pretty bad shape. I fear.
Ubaru, your injuries. Can I heal you?
See, he looks up and he's like, I always appreciate the attention of a beautiful woman. And he kind of tilts back a little bit. Like even that joke kind of took a lot out of him.
Okay, I'm gonna heal Ubaru. I don't want him to die.
He's not gonna die.
I believe, yeah. So go ahead and hit me with
You just want them hands.
Yeah.
Give me that.
Hey,
Get to it.
while this is happening, I want to walk over to Rial and I say, hey, Rial, put my arm around your shoulder. And I'm like, I appreciate you for being true to yourself and not flipping on me. You scared the shit out of me, man.
Right.
Oh my god. And then I whisper a little healing word into his ear as I wink at him and walk away.
That's hot.
Nice.
Papa like.
You see, the power of Divot, as shown so many times before, stems from this innate connection with his voice and the world around him. And his words of encouragement, reach in beyond the physical wounds that Tina, her magic, failed to heal. And you feel this cool breeze as the words from Divot's mouth, interact with your ears, and your mind gets a little bit of clarity. How much healing do you get there?
You've got a real nice butt.
7.
Kids.
You get 7. All right, so Rial, you receive some more healing.
Thank you. And before you
No,
go,
thank you.
you have such a good sense of our well-being and our emotions. I did want to have a word with you, if you have time before we rest.
Of course. I think I owe you that much.
Thank you, and thank you for your words of healing. But still, I'm racked with such guilt.
I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I feel encumbered with just a great deal of guilt. None of this would be upon us all if it wasn't for my old captor. None of you would be involved in this, and
Okay, I want to talk
apologize.
about that, and we can talk about guilt too, because let me tell you something. I think we might have had something to do with all of that crazy stuff that happened.
I'd have to agree.
Cha.
I'm not going to say it was my fault, because we were all there, so we all need to be on top of this.
Right.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I feel like with all of the stuff that happened and in the order of which it happened, where I saw some crazy shit on the beach and then we saw that crazy shadow creature later, and like before our land even went nuts with the druid on mushroom water, and y'all, I'm just not. I don't know. I think we need to make sure we see this to the end. And learn how to get younger again, for the love of God.
Yeah.
I'm still dead sexy.
Ubaru sits up a little bit, renewed vigor from the healing, and he suddenly notices the 20 years of aging. In his thoughts of Martha, he looks, and the magic, the dark magic. You look as if you've seen a ghost. And he tries to laugh, and then, he feels some pain in his chest.
Now's not the time for jokes,
That's a
Ubaru.
terrible joke, by the way.
That's supposed to be funny.
Can we lift this curse?
I mean, I hope that hurt. That was so bad.
You see, he feels bad.
You're gonna kill yourself making these stupid jokes.
And if you don't, I'm going to.
The joke alone aged me
That's what I
10
do.
more years. Good God.
You see, he's feels really. I am so sorry. Oh, and he's beating himself up a little bit.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay,
bad
just
timing.
tell
I
us
thought
how
it
we
was
can
pretty
lift
good.
this curse, Ubaru.
The druids could help you, but you must move quickly, for this curse must be lifted in one day.
Yeah,
Whoa.
fucking time limit on this shit now?
One
God
No,
day.
it's
damn.
day. There's no,
Alright,
no
this is-
sunrise. There's no sunset.
Oh,
snap.
shit.
It's a day.
You see,
How
he looks
long
up.
has it been, you guys?
Perhaps a day is the wrong term.
Man, I am
Ubaru, get to
so
the point.
close.
Baru.
Yeah, stop beating around the bush, Ubaru.
I'm gonna beat you about. Just-
The druids, they could hear you, but I am afraid even if you rushed, you would barely make it in time. And that is if all goes well. And we all know how often everything goes well.
Oh, there's got to be another way.
Is there another way?
I'd like to be 25 years younger.
God.
I mean, if you're taking
Okay.
age off,
You see, he thinks for a moment. It is too dangerous.
What is it? What is it?
Have you seen?
What?
We have a crocodile.
I mean,
Yeah, we're pretty cool. We've done a lot of dangerous stuff already.
I was really looking
my mom
forward to
told
my
me who
30s.
I was. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so somebody want to give me a persuasion check?
Yeah, I will.
I was
Give it. Go ahead, knock
Give
that
it.
one out of the park.
One moment. Ubaru.
You see Divot
Ubaru.
slides up next to Ubaru on the purple pillow and wraps his arm around his shoulder. He's such a large man. Nearly 6.5 feet tall, lanky. Your arms, even your smaller than average human arm, wraps around him pretty easily. He's gaunt. You can feel his ribs, his bones. A 20.
That might work.
Of course.
It might.
Work.
What do you say?
I'm like, look. Martha would have wanted you to give us any information that might help me be as beautiful as she remembers.
Oh.
You see the memories of Martha on Ubaru, a man who only recently became an open-minded person. Before he was a staunch, merchant of the Merchants Guild. And you see the heaviness of the loss of Martha well up in his eyes. They begin to water. Martha gave. She gave everything that she had. I learned from her. And I learned from you. And the five. And he looks up and a smile crosses his lips. Martha would want me to help you. But I fear, as I did before, that where I send you, be the end of your story.
All right.
I'm prepared for this to be the end.
You see,
I mean, I still look pretty good.
you do look good. Like for a man your age, you're still rather stunning with all that charisma.
What years is it?
Like you're getting a little salt and peppery.
Yeah, daddy.
Take that though.
My
I'm just saying
concern
there's
about the
nowhere
20
to go
years
but
is being
onward.
20 years closer to death, and if we're just gonna go die,
Just hurry that shit up.
See,
I
goes,
got you.
I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
I'm
If
optimistic.
it's this important to Brenner,
There is another cure. The blood of a serpent queen. You see, he looks to the east. I warned you of the mercenary camp. Bukhara. That is where you must go. The man, you see, he kind of turns and points up the road. And you see up to the north of you guys, there's that camp with the wooden walls that has these strange wooden totems, peppered in front of it, and this large string-drawn tent that stands up. And sitting out front of it, poking at his fire with a long stick, is a big, broad, tan-skinned man, battle-scarred. He has a heavy disposition, and he stares into the fire. Ubaru points at him. That man used to hail from Bukhara. His name is Brachus the Mired. He can tell you more. I tire. And he lays back. And you see his shaved head kind of lays back on the blue pillow, and his eyes start to close. He's very tired.
All right, I'm ready for a rest.
Yeah, let's rest.
Rest up, quest up.
All right, so this is where you guys have a little bit of a decision to make. You want to rest, but what kind of rest do you want to take? A short rest will give you 1 hour in which you can discuss any plans moving forward, and you can utilize your hit dice to heal yourself, to use the rest to heal your wounds. You know Divot's Song of Rest gives you additional healing, so that is definitely an option. Now, a long rest is an 8-hour rest. So 24 hours from when the curse hit you, it will become permanent.
And
So
how long into that are we? I mean,
you don't actually have a way of measuring. None of you do, like in your inventory.
Nobody brought a sundial.
No one knows
Nobody-
how to tell
The
time.
sun's in the
Just
same
for
place.
the
doing it.
sun doesn't even. Ugh.
I'm not tired necessarily. So if everybody else wants to take a rest, I need to do some thinking. You could all take a short rest, and I could keep watch.
I'm on team short rest, especially because time's not on our side right now.
Short rest.
And we've got Divot's Song to help us out.
All right, yeah, short rest.
All right, so the way that Divot's Song works, for those who don't recall, is you have to spend one of your hit dice in order to activate the healing from it. So each of you, if you want to gain that extra d6 healing, will use your hit dice. Remember, you have new hit dice, but you can't use them yet because you haven't long rested. So whatever hit dice it says that you're at, that's how many you have, and you just roll those and add your con modifier, and that's how much healing you get. So everybody can kind of go ahead and take care of that themselves. While you guys, and you see that Ubaru is actually going to use one of his hit dice and gain the benefit of the healing of your song. Ooh, Rial came in with a hot roll. He needs that help, though.
I do.
He was getting tore up, bro. All right.
Wretches.
Yeah, dretches, man. The big nipples.
Sorry, Mila Jovovich.
Oh, sorry, Mila Jovovich, with your long ass, beautiful ass nipples. It's just more nipple to love.
That's right. Boxing. All right. So while you guys short rest, you see, Divot brings out his small loot, his gnome-sized loot, from his childhood, and begins expertly plucking away on it. And again, that magic that comes from the song that he plays, you feel a softness and a lightness flow through your body as some of your mind wounds wounds and wear and tear and endurance, fade away.
Mind wounds.
Mind wounds. That's telekinesis, Brenna. All right, so in this rest, is there anything anybody wants to address? Is there a plan you want to establish, or any questions you have for Ubaru, who is still there as well?
Do those hit points add automatically?
No, you'll have to do it. If you click on your token, you can just hit on your little red health circle, you can type +7 if you healed 7, and then hit enter, and it'll adjust it that way.
Ubaru's asleep.
What was the modifier for that on everybody? Do you know?
I'm sorry, for your head dice?
For the Song of Rest?
Oh, it's
healing?
a D6. You get a D6 additional healing. So
Okay.
everybody that used a hit dice also gets a D6 additional healing of your own.
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and put it up to 44 then, because I only need one more hit point to get full up.
But what if you rolled a 0, bro?
That's not a thing, man.
It's
That's not a thing, man.
It's a thing, bro.
Don't mess with my mind, bro.
Don't tell me 0 is not a thing, bro. 0 is totally a thing. Yes, so anything else, any plans, any dialogue we want to play out before we begin this next thrust?
Well, yeah, I want to know about everything.
Yeah.
What
We've been traveling
was all
together for
that?
so long. If
So,
we could start a campfire now, I would. But the sun. Let's talk. What do you want to talk about?
Senna, I'm going to be real. If you don't tell me what you know about the Syndicate soon, I'm going to freak out.
I'm waiting for you to ask me questions.
Hey, what's
I'm
up?
not
Sit-
the kind.
sit- fucking-
I'm trying to talk,
we're gonna work
Thoricus.
together.
She's trying to talk, Thoricus.
Oh, sorry. I was
important.
lagging out.
I'm not really the kind of person that just drops information about my past. If you have any questions about the Syndicate, ask.
Okay.
What do you want?
I've been pretty upfront about my past, and the only thing I really know is that the Syndicate was supposed to be behind me being kidnapped when I was a child.
Whoa.
Do you know anything about that? Not even me specifically, just
So-
what is the kidnap program?
So I do know that. So my father, Shren, so I don't know too much, but he did mention that there was some trafficking, and in that region that you're talking about specifically, but I can't name any names. But I do know that if you're looking for somebody to seek revenge upon, it would be that Brackus the Mired character in there. He and my father, Shren, worked side by side. I know that.
What do you mean seek revenge?
I don't know if you're trying to tie up your story, if you're trying to, I don't know, seal a cherry on, I don't know.
I just want to know where I came from.
Divot in the back of your mind, my favorite saying all the time, I guess. Yeah, you feel this weird echo of the words that Tina said. Shren. 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 You've heard this name before, but you can't remember where. It's like a childhood memory. You can almost see it. You're moving, maybe on a cart or a horse. They're shaking. You're very young. You're scared. You're headed somewhere you've never been, and you swear one of the people around you said that name, Shren. Shren.
Yeah.
During this whole conversation, I have taken salt, like big things of salt, and a potato, and I'm salting like Brian. I treat Brian kind of like a cast iron skillet, and so I'm just kind of salting him with potatoes, but still very much listening to this whole conversation, like sitting with everybody and looking up at them, but salting my boy.
You see Brian very appreciatively basking in the attention and happy to be reunited with you once more. Just kind of shaking his big tail. You know, it's huge. It's like this big 4-foot tail, and it's just like kicking up dust, little dust clouds poofing in either direction, kind of digging him into a little groove in the ground. Anybody else have anything to address during this?
Yeah, Divot, I'm sorry I don't have more information for you. I detached myself so much from Shren. I don't even have the same name anymore. You know, he's not family to me. He might as well be dead to me. And honestly, I'm personally pretty terrified that he's tracking me. Remember Tyrannius? When we saw him, when he caught up with us, that's how I know that Shren is tracking us, because Tyrannius and my father, Shren, also worked side by side. And if Tyrannius was out this far, he has no other reason to be out this far. We got to keep moving. I'm sorry I don't have more information about your past, but I know that Brachus the Mired in there moved slaves and the syndicate, but I don't have more information about where you came from. I'm sorry.
Are we rested at this point?
This would be like taking place during the short rest, but you're feeling better.
Okay. I look around the room, and I look at her, and I'm thinking about all of this fucked up stuff that's been going on in my head since we left the temple. And I'm just like, yo, we've been being good, and things have been going bad. I say we be bad and hope that things go good.
The 5.
A renewed vigor washes over each of you. You know, classic inspirational Divot. You know, you feel this lightness wash over you for the first time since the many preceding heavy moments. The laughter echoing through the camp. You see some of the passers-by look over and look at you guys, and they're like, what the? You see they're kind of mad. They start walking over. They see you laughing. Well, what's so funny then? Look at them. And you see that this like wind of light air has blown out even beyond the range of your little campfire as it blows through. You see some of the townsfolk. What's with the sun, right? And you see as you guys laugh and the laughter goes, it starts spreading through town. And suddenly, piercing through the laughter, Ubaru snaps up.
Oh, shit.
He looks at you guys laughing. It looks as if he's just awoke from a nightmare. He says, Five, it is good to see you laughing again. Martha would want that. I have to say, I know the real term for the Queen of Serpents. I did not use it for. It is a name that strikes fear in all the great adventurers.
We're not that great.
My ears perk up.
For you must seek the blood of Imadusa. And you see him, his eyes fade back into this nightmare, as if he's watching something unfold from the future. And as his eyes begin to glow pale, you can see your own reflections in the skin of his eyes, as the picture of each one of you turns to stone. And that's where we'll pick it up after the intermission, guys.
Piece of
We are going to take our short rest, use some hit dice. I'm going to play a song. There might be some song and rest stuff. I'm going to pet my cats. I'm going to pet my Isaac. And then that's right. So I'm coming for you. And then we'll be back. We'll continue our journey. Thanks, guys. We will see you shortly. Check out all this, man. It is awesome.
Awesome.
Damn.
I know,
Welcome back, guys. Nice little intermission. I feel like my hit points have been restored. When we left, the Ferocious Five were sitting at Ubaru's camp, the merchant and vendor who they saved from the clutches of the shadows of Achaeus in the Murk Wood. He, springing from what seemed like a nightmare, cried out the true name of the creature whose blood is required to reverse the curse. Reverse the curse. That's fun to say. To reverse the curse. I have been smoking. This is not a prop. And so they indeed have to follow Ubaru's advice and travel to the east to the city of Buraka, the mercenary camp. Suddenly, we jump back in. You guys see Ubaru sits up. His once glorious and vibrant purple robes are now all in tatters and shreds from being drug across the sharp rocks and ground of the Mirkwood. You see the colored rings, the different gems on each of his fingers, all in all state of disarray. He just looks like a broken man before you, even with this time to rest and heal. This has been an extremely trying adventure for him. Not a worldly adventurer like you guys, but just a simple merchant. This has taken a serious toll on him. And you see, he looks at you, Rial. He says, "Shadow Piercer, I owe you my life. Before you asked me if I had a trinket that you could purchase for coin, but this magic has no price." You see his wrinkled and long, gaunt fingers reach into the thick padded pockets on his robe. You hear him clank around, these two objects clanking together in his hand. And he brings them out. They're two onyx stones that have a face like carved into them, like an old religious emblem of a face, with heavy eyebrows and a large rounded nose and expressionless eyes that seem to look at each other. You see, he holds them out, points them at one another. And you see a small energy wave just transfer, little pink energy wisps in and into the other one. You see it pop out and return. Rial Ubaru reaches out to you. You see his hands still trembling and shaking from weariness. "Rial, take these. The descending stones." And he reaches, you can see it's hard for him to leave his arm out.
I got you.
You grab them. You feel like a strange pulse of magical energy emanating off of them. You look down in your hands and curiously finger over the ridges, and it's very smooth and midnight black. You run your finger over the nose ridge and you look. Baros looks at you. He says, "Connect with the stone, and the stone can communicate with the other stone." And then the dungeon master's like, "Okay, so this is the stones of sending. So you have to attune to these. This is actually your first magic item that requires attunement. So attunement, in 5th edition D&D, there's only so many magic items you can be using at once, so that you don't just become this like flying mega death monster of 5,000 magic items, like 3rd edition.
Because who wants that?
Right. And so you just get 3 that you can attune to. So in order to bind with one of these stones, you have to use an attunement slot. That also takes an hour. You have to spend an hour focusing on the stone to attune to it. But when you have those stones, if 2 people have them, when you use an action, you can send a message, like a phone call almost, to the other stone.
Oh, they're cell stones.
Basically, they're like walkie-talkies.
Cell stone?
It's the... So the person then who has the other stone can use a reaction to send the message back. You have a link of communication that you can then just talk to each other. So pretty powerful magic item. It allows you guys to, if you do end up splitting up, or if at any time you have somebody scouting ahead or something, this is a way that you can stay in communication with each other.
They're Rocky Talkies.
Rocky Talkies, yeah.
The Rocky Talkies. They were named by an ancient civilization that didn't have your charm or wit. And you see he smiles, feeling that he could at least do this for you, grant you such a powerful gift. He lays back down. "Thank you. for saving my life. I
You,
intend
Baru.
to make it a life worth saving. And he kind of lays back down on the pillow and begins to drift off to sleep again.
So I want to look down at Brian and ask him, Brian, man, where's the boy? Where did the boy go?
You see, he turns his, big crocodile neck and his sharp pointed nose. Crocodile has the long nose. Had to, after a while, that's the one. This long, slender nose points in the direction of some of the tents just beyond this mercantile area where these new, this kind of like new settlement is being established. And as he points, you see in the vision, almost, as your eyes connect, you see the little boy, the small elven child that you guys had seen before, with his baggy black hair and those piercing blue innocent eyes, with his little brown tunic and pulled up pants with the cinched cord and no shoes. You see him actually kind of like hurriedly walking. You see he makes eye contact with you down the road, and standing beside him is a man who resembles him slightly, a much taller, older man. You may assume is his father, and is walking with him as well, with a little bit of pace towards you guys. And you hear him call out, "Breno! Breno! And you see he's just like, he's all like excited and starts kind of like skipping toward you.
He told me he was 18, sir.
You see behind him walking the taller elvish man, also still like fine black straight hair and very sharp features. A fellow elf for sure.
I'm glad to see that you're okay, little man.
She's like, "Oh, thank you. That was scary. I still got a bump on my head." And you see he looks back, and you can see he does, like from where his head like banged on the rocks as he was drug across. You see he's got like a nice big little puffed up battle wound.
Oh, that's gnarly, little dude.
She's like, "Oh, thanks." And he's kind of just like bashful, and he's just like, you see he's like totally enamored with you. His father steps up, and he's like, "You there? I heard you save me, boy. I can't thank you enough. His mother would be lost without him." He kind of looks down and tussles his hair. "Hell, I'd be lost without him too." You see, he's got a cinch slung over his, like a little rope cinch slung over his shoulder, and he kind of, please, shifts it over. You see this long purple tapestry wrapped around something. And he pulls it out in front of you. He says, "It would be my honor if you would take this." And he, grabs the kind of gold lacing that sits at the end of the tapestry and starts unwrapping this bundle. It starts rolling into his arm. Even the tapestry itself, the silk that's in there, is very it's like very fine, and even the cords that hang off of it seem like gold thread. And he begins to unroll it, and finally your eyes make contact with the most beautiful long sword that you have ever seen in your life.
It is word.
Let's go!
Crafted elven longsword, and you see it's got green and silver elvish runes that emanate with magic energy. The whole sword seems to speak to you. It demands the respect of all the eyes that look upon it. Now, this sword is a +1 longsword.
Cool.
When wielded by an elf, it functions as normally. And you see Aeon, the boy's father, looks up at you. This is Ganjaria, the blade of the keeper. My grandfather used this sword to fight the demon hordes at the Great Opening. My father used it to save my mother as her village burned. And it would do me honor to have you wield it. You see his hands shake as he presents it to you.
So while I'm just standing there, thank you so much for this honor. Thank you. I will wield it proudly. I will wield this proudly, and I can see like my hands are like, oh, because I'm just like,
it almost hums as your hands get close to it. You can feel sonic waves. This is pure magical energy, much like the well in the temple. This raw magic energy emanating from the blade. You know, as a warrior, you know, your mind quickly goes to future battles as you gloriously, you know, fashion this sword around, and you can just imagine how it must feel. The trim of it, it looks like the lightest blade you've ever seen, with the sharpest edge you can imagine, and light just glows off it from the sun that still sits frozen in the sky. And just as an admirer of great things, especially the two warriors in the group are just kind of. I mean,
It's a sweet ass blade.
I can envision this blade just slicing the shadow dragon's throat that took my family and my kingdom from me, and I am vibrating. So I kind of gently put my hands under the blade and I lift it. And I feel its imminent power.
You feel your fingers slide over the grip, and it feels like the handle was made for your hand. The grooves of your blue-green fingertips settle right into place, and it seems to move a half second before you begin to swing it, like it's following the edge of your will. It reacts faster. It's more keen. It does more damage. Since this is our first +1 item, the way that this functions, +1 means it gets +1 to your attack and to your damage. So from now on, and if you want, I will just drag and drop that into your interview.
Cool.
Again, thank you, Roll20. I can actually just search.
Boodraka.
One pops. I'm then gonna drag this over.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Some good shit.
Sorry. If this
Yeah,
moves your
baby.
sheet.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. First
Yeah,
+1
baby.
magic. Magic items in 5th edition are pretty rare, guys. It's unlike 3rd edition and some of the previous editions. They really are trying to keep the math constrained so that that you have about a similar chance of success and failure as you move forward, rather than like these extreme random circumstances that you excel in and then others that you fail in. But you'll notice that as you progress, you know, especially you, Drew, playing a lot of D&D from older editions, it's like there's going to be a point where you're just like, ooh, do I want to use the cool flaming sword or do I need the sweet stones that I can talk to people with? Now, Brenor, I hate to be the bearer of DM bad news. So while this magic blade is keenly it's in your hand, you are not actually attuned to it yet. It, like the other magic items, requires attunement, which means that you take an hour connecting with the item. And so in your case, it would probably be like training with it and moving it around and just getting used to the magical energy. Now, right now, it functions as a longsword. So it's your stats for your longsword attack are fine. But until you spend the hour to attune with it, you will not have those +1 powers yet.
I'm okay with that.
And just so you know the name of the sword, that is the Angurel, A-N'_Durel, the Blade of the Keeper.
Nice.
Andrew, my baby.
And you see Aeon looks at you, you know, his hand's still kind of tremoring. Says, "Sea Soaping, you do a lot for us. You help the elves around here feel good, stand tall. Thanks for saving me, boy." You see he kind of starts catching a tear. "Thanks for saving us all. I don't think anybody's taken the time to actually say that. And that's a shame. Because we could all be dead." And then Aleo looks up and he's like, "Yeah, but we ain't dead. And look, I got a big bump on my head." And he starts showing off his bump again to get your admiration.
I get kind of emotional and I grab, his name's Aeon, the dad, right?
Yes.
So I grab him, I grab his shoulder, and I just kind of nod. And like, I'm so overwhelmed because he's given me such a beautiful gift that I don't know what else to do. I just kiss him on his forehead. And then
And you see he's kind of like,
and then I like
Yeah,
direct him away. And then I
that
go,
was weird.
thank you so much. Thank you. And I like kind of take the fat, I'm gonna just put it away because I can't really do anything with it right now.
okay, so you see he takes the tapestry himself, the purple, the cloth that he presented to you, and with the wetness of your kiss still lingering on his forehead, he kind of stands back awkwardly, not really sure how to respond to the situation either.
I'm just as uncomfortable.
And you see him, he like kind of looks over to Leo, and Leo's looking up at him, is like, what we doing, Da? And he's just like, you do me kindness. And then he wraps up the tapestry and kind of bows and looks around at you guys, not really sure what to do with himself either. He just kind of keeps bowing and taking a couple steps back.
I'm also doing the same thing. I'm like, you do me kindness. No, you also.
Yes, you
do it.
Can I have that
And
tapestry?
also with you.
You see, he stops and he looks at you and he's like, would you care? Of course.
I'd happily trade you something for it. It's beautiful.
He says, no, man, I couldn't charge the 5. I owe you a life debt, if anything. Here, take it. It was weaved by my grandmother. She's one of the finest elven seamstresses, Ildessa. You may have heard of her. You haven't.
Okay.
Thank you.
When he hands it to me, I want to sleight of hand him a coin and him not notice anyway.
Oh, dude.
Okay. So yeah, you see as he reaches out, the long sleeves on his wrist kind of hang down, and you grab the tapestry, and with just absolute, dexterity and precision, you manage, like you have in 1,000 poker games, you slide a gold coin down into your wrist and slide it down the arm of his, of his sleeve, and it tinkles, and it'll probably sit right around his waist until he takes his clothes off, and the prize.
Excellent.
I'm sorry, I just killed this bug. That was amazing. That was 1d4 damage. That bug had a hit point. I crit.
Crit hit.
All right. So yes, Brenner, you have Endurel, the Blade of the Keeper, and you guys have the 2 sending stones. Rial, you have both of them. You may want to choose who gets the other one at whatever juncture you deem.
I do have a choice in mind. Do I need to attune them first, or can I dole out the second stone?
Check it out, gang.
Stone, and then because each of you will have to attune to it anyway.
Can we huddle real quick about the attunement?
Yeah.
So I know that you guys have these things that you want to check out, and I have a little unfinished business with this guy Senna told me about.
I'd really
Right.
like to go with you on
Are we
that
huddling?
business as
We
well.
should huddle.
Yeah, we're huddling right now. We're already huddling.
I think that you guys could
That's why you're
take
so
your
close.
moment to it. I know we're on a tight timeline, but if you took a moment to attune your stuff, maybe that would be enough time for us to really quick
Yeah, I like
this
that.
motherfucker.
Get
Yeah,
out
you guys attune, and we're gonna go deal with Brackus.
Whoa. The deal with that's just a guy that we have. That's the guy that we also need to talk to move forward. So
Yeah, I think, Divot, we need to talk about your intentions with Brackus the Mired. What do you want to do?
No, I want to, as quickly as possible, convince him that I will give him the world if he tells me everything that he knows. And then I want to break his heart and kill him.
And plan B?
Well, I'm
Is there a
flexible
plan
about
B?
that part. I'm flexible.
As long
Okay.
as we get what we need out of him first, right?
Oh yeah, no, I'm not trying to
Okay.
fuck us. I'm trying to fuck him.
Booyah.
Well,
There.
There is a skill check involved, I assure you.
I'm behind you no matter what, Divot. Let's do this.
all right, I guess. Do we want to spend more time doing that, or do we all
Yeah, you just said you want to attune to these things first, right?
Okay.
For an hour?
Well,
and then that way we can go out and whoop some more ass?
If everyone's down for this plan, I would
Unless you guys
definitely.
just want to bounce and go. If you think the time is more important, I'm 100% on board with that.
Well, I'm still confused as to what it is that we're trying to rush off to go do. Are we trying to break the curse on you guys?
Yes.
Okay, that's what we're doing. Okay, just what
That
smoked
would be
a
the
lot
only
of
reason that we would be
guys.
rushing.
So yes, Ubaru had mentioned that the blood of the Serpent Queen could remove this curse, and then further revealed that the Serpent Queen that he's referring to is the creature of legend, the Medusa,
Right.
So.
who is for some reason at this mercenary camp.
Yeah, that's
So, what? He said Medusa. Is there anything that I know about that? Do I know? Because he said something about adventures, and she's scary, spooky, scary.
So yes, Brenor, being a solo adventurer, you have spent many time at many inns and heard the sailors' tales over many ales. Sometimes rhyming never fails. You catch my sorry. I saw it and I just had to grab it. So yes, you have certainly heard of the Medusa, the serpent-haired reptile creature that has the power to turn people to stone. And you have, unlike the real-world Medusa, there's not like the myth of the guy that beat the Medusa. It's just like, hey, Medusas are a thing, and don't get dead. You, in your adventuring, may have stumbled upon some rumors. I would allow you to do, in this case, because it's coming from your survivalist lifestyle, give me a survival check.
Oh, here we go. I've been rolling like garbage.
15.
That's pretty
All right.
So you remember long ago, when you brought your first little tugboat that you would run packages back and forth with, pulling into a dark port one night, and the storm was beating on the window, and you made your way into the inn at the time, and just like so many other portside inns, just damp and wet and dirty, and you sat next to a man who had an eye patch over one eye, short and fat. And you noticed him sitting somberly and staring into his drink, not engaging with the the revelry going on around him, with bards playing and sailors happy to have their feet on land and spend some coin and gamble. And you asked him why he was so sad, and you remember him telling you the tale of his brother who ran a ship into a coast, and they came into contact with the Medusa. As soon as they looked at him, they froze. My cousin got away, but I tracked him. As long as you don't look at it, it can't get you. But it's still got teeth, and it's still got claws, and them hurt just as bad. He looks into his drink, and a tear runs down his cheek. Beware the coastlines with the stone people. You don't want to be like me. And you see he pounds his drink, and as he slams it down, you're back in the moment.
Okay, so I just Ubaru said Medusa, and I feel like I've heard that before, and I think I remember this story that this guy told me at a bar about his brother encountering a Medusa, and it turns your ass to stone if you look at it.
Just your ass.
All of you have heard of a Medusa, in your various adventure lives, but this is a little bit more of a detail than you may have ever heard before.
So, it turns you to stone, and that's kind of it. And so
well, the joke's on it, because we're always stoned.
Yeah. You're right. And also, I was just trying to think of that just in case. I really think we should take the time to attune to our weapons, because if this shit's like, thank you. It hurts to think. So I think, based off of that scary shit, that maybe we should take the time to attune to our shit. And then you guys can go do whatever the hell you were going to do to Brachus, Makakis, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, so are you all going to attune, or are some people splitting, or is somebody going?
Splitting, correct?
I'm attuning my sword.
That takes an hour, though. If we go off and just the three of us to go talk to this guy and do whatever, and we get in a fight, that takes like 10 minutes.
Oh, you're right. Let's just not attune, and then we'll just fucking go on our merry way.
Well, no, we can all just wait and attune with you guys.
Okay.
Like, can I take this time as a blacksmith to adjust that armor on
Ah!
Brunar?
Yeah, so cool little thing.
Nice.
As a battle master, Thoricus. I mean, Drew plays Thoricus. So, but Thoricus it received training beyond just the fighting side of his soldierly pursuits. He also spent some time training under a blacksmith, and so a little thing you haven't ever seen before. You notice, kind of reaches in his rucksack and pulls out his blacksmithing supplies. He's got like a little small anvil, so strong is he that he just carries around this like 30-pound anvil in his bag that he picks up with one hand. It's just so strong now at the 20 strength. And so he pulls out his hammer. And so Brenner, he kind of like beckons you over and starts, trying to adjust some of the plates on your armor.
And then while he's doing that, can I just be like, sword? I want to tune myself that way.
All right, yes. So, elves, when they sleep, only sleep for 4 hours. They trance. And so what you've decided to do basically is go into like an elvish trance with this sword and like reach your energy out to its energy. And it's just the words just sword just hang in the air. And, Thoricus, you're just kind of like...
That's weird.
Just shifting. As Brunar becomes unresponsive, is like meditating. And locked out, but slowly saying the word sword. And Thoricus, yes. Give me if you click on that tool set on your character sheet down near the bottom left, there will be like the blacksmithing tools. If you click that, that'll do like a blacksmithing skill check. We'll see how well you did. 22, dude, you did great, man.
Wow,
hey, way to go.
Great job.
Way to go, man.
Thanks, guys.
And you know what? That was fun. You actually did good. That's great. You're like almost eager to show off this, useful skill to your new allies.
No, I'm not a show off. Come on.
You did a great job.
I just love my team, and I want you guys to look good and feel good out there, and just be able to fuck shit up with me. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Yes,
So when anyone else do the adjustments, you know who to call.
So far, none of your weapons have really gone through anything particularly bad. There's some cuts and scrapes in the blade, but everything seems to be, battle able.
Just got to rub that out.
All right, so Rial, what about the stones? What are you going to do with those?
Well, my plan that I had in mind is I would like to give the other stone to Thoricus. He's our melee master, and if he and I can be in tune on a melee and range, just back to back.
So
if he's
smart.
down, of course. I haven't asked him.
Oh,
if he's my
amazing.
stone.
Guys.
Oh, wow. This is like the first time you've ever given a dude a stone, man. So,
It's true. It's true.
Oh.
You always remember your
big
first.
step. Big step.
Wow.
It's true, man.
They're stoning.
I was going to say,
And I have to ask as awkwardly as possible because elves just are not there. So while he's working on Brunar, just
You just see like your head kind of just like cuts into frame.
hey,
So,
hey, Thoricus.
yeah? Can I...
you see Thoricus fitting, some of the studs on the armor. He locks in tighter, and you see these shifted shoulder plates lock into place. Brenner, you can feel your shoulders even through your trance. That there's a lightness now. The heavy weight on your shoulders is fading.
Sword, thank you. Sword.
Yeah, just keep singing the sword song. Rial, what's going on?
I have such respect for your prowess on the battlefield and the courage and loyalty you've shown us five as such newfound friends. Will you take this stone and attune with me?
You want to explain what that means? There's that
Right.
I'm just, I like to know some things before going into a situation like that.
Brenner, even through your meditative state, you feel something extremely awkward happening behind you.
Sword.
I look over at Tenna and I'm like, should we get out of here? Or...
Yeah. This sounds awkward.
They're like attuning.
Sword, we stand. Sword.
This won't
Get
take
a
long.
rope.
You should have witnesses. Really
So
should.
what? Oh, geez. All right. So what does the stone do?
Essentially, if we happen to separate, be it before a battle on our journeys. If you hold this stone and are attuned to it, we can send messages back and forth with our own minds without having to speak, without the boundaries of paper or sending messages back and forth. And I think this could benefit us if I from the far range with my bow and you, Lucille, your axe. And your battle
become
master.
best friends.
Psychic friend sword.
Look, I'm just over here like,
No, buddy, we got the signal.
Oh,
We have the signal,
Divot.
buddy. Like, we just have cell stone.
Divot,
So
do you wanna share a prayer with me?
We're on a family plan.
Like to pray with me?
Best friends.
yeah, I'll come play with you.
No, pray with me.
Nice try. One of these days it's gonna work, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, so to further compound upon the awkwardness, in order to attune these stones need to be facing each other. So after you're done shifting the armor, you guys kind of sit with your legs crossed, just awkwardly kind of looking at each other with the onyx black stone in your hand facing the other black stone. You see the little you see the little wisp of magic getting stronger between the two. You feel this strange breeze happening between each of your minds, that each time the flow of magic comes in is stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
You start, Rial, you start having weird thoughts about dwarven women with beards, and just sort of like, and all of a sudden, it's an appetite you've never quite had before, but you're getting a signal straight out of the mind of Thoricus. And Thoricus, you're getting these like terrifyingly sad visions of like being chained to a bed and like magic being casted on your body, and it's just like the complete opposite of the signal.
You give me.
We both have the weirdest boners right now.
They're both chained to beds, but like completely different scenarios.
Kinky.
I don't know why this works for me, but it does. So I'm just gonna go with it.
You see, all of a sudden, Thoricus starts picturing like bearded dwarven women chained in a bed with magic being casted on them. All right. Yep.
A long night, Lucille.
That's what's
Only
gonna
half.
happen. That's gonna happen sometime. All right, so so you guys awkwardly sit at each other, and Brenor sings to herself as she meditates, facing the blade.
Romance. Sword.
Tina reaches a hand out toward Divot and offers it in a moment of prayer.
We can pray while they do this.
So I am used. I've been around like a few different types of like people or whatever,
Yes.
and religion does not offend me. I would not take away anyone's nightlight, and I'm always happy to pray with anyone from any creed for any reason.
All right, and here's like a nice, interesting point. In fact, I like this moment so much. Both of you guys take an inspiration point. Here's a nice, cool bridge between these two. Tharizdun is actually the god of trickery. And so as a man, prone to sleight of hand and performing in bars and, buxom ladies, there's some of the tenets of Tharizdun that you can certainly appreciate, a traveler's god for sure. And so, through this new connection that Tina has to the god Tharizdun, when she grabs your hand and you both put your head down and, in solemn prayer, a moment comes where even you feel the same feeling I explained that Tina feels, where it's almost like a hand, just a hand, is set on your shoulder. And like for a moment, someone is gazing upon you. So about 30 minutes have gone by. Do you guys, my prayers is probably over at this point. Are you guys going to hang around, or are you going to go do your thing?
Do you think they're gonna be offended if we go fuck around and talk to this guy
No, we've taken
while
our
they're
moment.
doing this thing?
We've done our thing.
We're right behind you.
Oh, look at that. What's your
We're
game
right
plan?
behind
Divot?
you.
Sword.
So you know him, right? So if you try to talk to him, that's one way that we could go at it, right? Because
He knows me more than I know him. I know
Okay.
of him. I know his
But
name. I don't know
but
him.
he doesn't know me.
He does not know you.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe I'll talk to him and
Yeah.
see what I can get out of him.
I think you should go in, and I should hold back. But I'll be. I don't want him to recognize me. Is the thing.
Okay. Okay. Here, take this tapestry and wrap it around yourself. And I like.
Okay.
Nice. You take this exquisite purple silk tapestry, finely woven, and as the light from the frozen sun glistens on it, you see the delicate threads, of the fine elven craftsmanship that went into making this, and the beautiful golden tassels that shimmer in the sun. A fine piece of cloth, if ever you've seen one, and you wrap it around her. Are you trying to disguise her?
Yes.
Okay, so give me a deception check.
Okay.
Me or Divot?
Actually, I would say Divot because he's like dressing you up.
Okay.
If someone interacts with you, that would be your time then.
Sword.
So with a 10, you do manage to wrap it around her, but again, it's such like a bright, vibrant piece of cloth, but it does draw the eye a bit. So it's successful. I mean, like nobody looking directly at her unless they were like taking a good look would know who this is, but it's certainly a woman wrapped in an exquisite tapestry.
She looks important, but not like herself.
Yes, a very apt observation. Yes.
Okay.
Sword. All right. I could live with this. All right. All right. What's your game plan, Divot?
So I'm gonna swoop in, and I'm gonna see what the vibe is like. And if I think this guy is feeling lonely, then I am going to kind of seduce him into telling me everything I need to know. And then depending on whether or not I like his answers, we'll see what happens.
Sword. All right.
All right, so
All right.
Divot, you begin walking away from the strange vision of Thoricus and Rial awkwardly staring at each other while holding little rocks in each other's direction, and Brenor singing her beautiful song
Sword.
that Brian the crocodile waves his head to in loving admiration. And you begin walking away. Tina, where are you gonna go? Are you kind of like hanging right here, or where are you going?
I want to be within earshot of what's going to happen, so I'm going to follow. And I have my new outfit, so hopefully I won't be recognized immediately.
As a trickery cleric, you feel so in your domain. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, you get like an advantage on stuff like this. So you feel that hand of Thera's Dune almost helps pull the cinch over. You feel that the tapestry almost move without you as it wraps just the right part of your face that would suddenly makes you look like so many others. And you kind of just saunter on importantly, quickly suiting into the role of such a woman. And you kind of set yourself here for now. I mean, you can move, you can absolutely feel free to move as you wish. But kind of within earshot of both the group and the goings on of Brackus at this campfire over here. Divot, you start, walking up the little path, and you see the totems that are dug in with small gray stones placed in circles around these large, like 4 foot tall. They're almost as big as you are. Wooden totems that have the face of some jungle god inscribed on them with sticks sticking out like great antlers and horns. You see them placed every like 10 or 15 feet right in front of the wooden fence that surrounds this property. It's not the most welcoming sight, as the eyes seem to be painted in blood red, and the faces all have a twisted scowl on them. But from behind them, you see the wooden fence standing just a little taller than you. You kind of like get up on your tippy toes, and you can still kind of see Brackus standing in front of the fire, poking with a stick. Strange to have a fire burning, in the middle of
the sun's out, dude.
Perpetual day. But yet you see his eyes lost in thought as he holds, a horn of drink down at his side. Oh, and he takes a refreshing drink.
What do you think about that, best friend?
So you come around to this point here, Divot, where the entrance is. You can kind of see the break in the fence, and there's a tapestry that a well decorated gold and tan tapestry that folds out and rolls from this great, well-constructed tent. It seems to be able to withstand, any number of environmental or elemental issues. Certainly fashioned by a proficient camp setter. And another totem that rests sitting in front of the tent flap, and another that sits on the other side, looming almost like sentinels or guards of this location. To the left of them, you see Brachus the Mired, a rare sight in the world, an old mercenary. Most don't make it that far. Battle-scarred. Every bit of his skin seems to be set with some deep cut or another, or a large rake or magical fire burns. He wears thick brown leather armor that has puffs of fur from various animals and pelts that he skinned off while hunting woodland animals. And he seems to be reaffixing one of the strange totems that line the camp. His need for solitude is almost tangible, and you can smell his distrust of outsiders among the wind. You see him sitting, a drink in one hand, a large stick in the other, poking at the fire. His eyes lost 1,000 miles away, staring as he pokes the flames. Little bits of ash and little dwindling fireflies of burnt wood twitter up. He stares away, not responding to your presence.
Okay. I don't say anything. I reach into my pocket and I pull out a little bit of smoke. And I want him to just smell it, and obviously he's a seasoned veteran. I've seen some shit, and I just want him to smell this, and I hope that he's into that, and we don't have to talk about it. He can just have some if he wants, kind of thing.
So you see the smoke comes out of your bardically proficient mouth and moves with a little whisk of magic over the wind. And as the sound the smell breaks upon him, he looks up, clearly very intoxicated.
Yeah.
That smells like that saffron shit. Takes another drink. Well, what do you want? I don't imagine you came to just blow smoke in my direction for nothing. You here to kill me? Many have tried.
No, I just want to know who you are.
What a question. I've been many things. Seen many things. Stares at the fire. Drink some more.
Sword.
Yeah, the song of the sword carried on the winds.
Oh man.
We probably should have given one of these to them.
Damn it! Damn it!
I can't hear anything they're saying over there, best friend.
You guys aren't sure if that's gonna break the spell, so you're kind of whispering to each other,
All right, so I take a deep breath and I just offer it to him.
All right, so you walk in the camp. Right now, you're still at the door.
Yeah, I'll take a step closer. In a friendly but confident way.
All right. So you
Like
step
that.
forward. You see his eyes quickly cut and look in your direction. You best be careful. Many, many men have tried to kill Brachus the Mired. Now all of them and their lives are expired.
Rhyme.
That's a good one. I like that.
Bring me your grass, young tough back. You feel the hair on the back of your neck stand up. Tough backs.
Not super into that, but I go over and I hand it to him.
So you see as you kind of walk up to him, he looks at you kind of questioningly. His eyes are floating with water and alcohol. And he seems a little confused by your presence. But you hand out your offering, and He takes it in turn, but all of a sudden the pipe looks different. You see he takes a large draw upon it. You're smarter than you look, boy. And he hands you your piece back, which turns back into whatever it looks like when it's in your hand.
All right.
You see, so he's not quite aggressive like he was. His mood has definitely shifted, but he's still quite standoffish. But he is allowing you to just kind of stand by this fire while you share a heavy moment.
I basically want to persuade him maybe that he should tell me, like, I get the vibe that this guy, like, he's obviously very creepy, kind of filled me in a little bit. I don't want to just, like, drop the bomb on him, but I want to be like, so I, you know, like, I heard you, like, oh man, I'm trying to think of, like, a not fucked up way to say this, but,
Just say it.
That's not
Say
really
it.
your wheelhouse, bro.
Unload your mind for me, big boy.
so I heard you steal kids.
Well, there's probably a more tactful way to say that, but
I heard you're into, young
thievery.
kidnapping.
Maybe it's something he feels
hey
guilty
guy.
about.
You see his eyes are growing more intense, and he keeps staring in the fire. And you see the stick that he's poking at as it starts shaking in his hand.
This is not, like, going as well as I had planned. I'm, like, a little nervous, considering how, like, intense this guy has been, and that it's just the two of us. So, like, while he's smoking, right, I'm gonna try to, like, low-key back out of the room. Like,
All right, so he's gonna make a perception check. I have him do it.
Tina, I think you're muted.
I didn't mean to be muted.
Oh, sorry.
It's fine.
I'm just trying to look out for you
No,
guys.
Thank
he
you.
has a terrible passive perception. So, yeah, you just kind of, you notice he seems dead fixed on the fire, and his eyes are trembling as it seems that he's dealing with some heavy thoughts, and his body, you know, adrift in the wake of alcohol, is just flowing, and he continues to drink and stare at the fire as you back away without a word.
so I poke my head out the door, right, and I look at Tenna, and I'm like, this is not going well.
Divot, we don't need to deal with this trash. Let's move on.
Okay, let's just dip out, and I guess I'll find out some other way.
We'll come back. We'll go get the backup from everybody else once they've attuned the
He's just giving me a real skeevy vibe, and I don't want to just kill him.
That's what I mean. Yeah, we gotta wait for backup. I thought we could handle him by ourselves, and we can't.
Sword.
Okay.
Sorry, Divot.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So as you start walking away, you kind of look up on your tippy toes again over the top, and you see he seems unfazed. He just continues shaking, staring into the fire.
I'm gonna take this tapestry off. Okay, I'm gonna give it back to you.
All right, so Divot, you've got the purple tapestry now.
Okay, I wrap up in it.
Obviously. It smells like her.
With your high charisma, it just fits perfectly, and it's almost like it's a cape that was fitted to your body as you just throw it around, and the golden tassels almost tie themselves magically to your shoulders, and it just flows behind you. You have this gorgeous, flowing purple and gold trimmed tapestry cape.
That guy farts butterflies.
Divot, we're gonna go back there and deal with him. Okay?
All right, yeah, no, let's go regroup and then see what everybody wants to do.
All right, so you guys start walking away. You notice up on the hill, kind of over where the Gilded Ribbon Inn was, where you had the showdown with Tyrrhenius and some of the other syndicate thugs. You see quite a few of the town itself. Like this refugee camp is set up outside of this town. The townsfolk themselves seem to be kind of like gathering and looking over at you guys, and there seems to be a little bit of tension in the nearby city. You know, if you recall, the southern lands were not invited to the harvest rituals after they had kind of a violent interaction before. And so after this harvest ritual's completion, you then ran all these people from the north into the southern lands. So, you know, your knowledge of kind of the regional politics would lend that, you know, they may not be, they've been pretty cool about it until now, but like the tension seems to be rising, as so does the kind of inborn aggression from no nighttime to sleep. So everybody's only half rested. So you see like people are shoving each other sometimes. You see guys sitting by fires, like one will just push one off a chair, and then the other guy gets up and is like, I'm fine, I'm going to bed. And, you know, and you can just kind of feel like there's an aggressive, angry energy in the air that's just built up over all this cataclysm and destruction that they've had to endure. And no one more, honestly, Divot, in your opinion, than Brackus. You could feel his torment of a life spent doing what he'd done as you gaze upon him by the fire.
Yeah, you know, I thought I was gonna want to kill him, but then I got there and I just kind of felt bad for him.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Do a lot of bad things.
Yeah.
And you gotta think about him.
People sing to
The syndicate lead a miserable life.
Well, and according to Ubaru, he also was a member of that mercenary camp in Buraka too. So it's like, you know, he seems to have been around quite a few questionable organizations in his time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you return to the group. You hear the song end with a final sword from Brenor.
Sword.
And Brenner, as you sit, you know, transfixed in your meditation, you know, kind of like kneeling back, sitting on your own feet, crouched down with your hands crossed in front of you, and your eyes kind of a glaze of blue like the ocean. Suddenly,
glazed.
Oh, glazed?
Suddenly, the energy from the sword reaches out and wraps itself around your aura.
Oh, word.
You feel like a wave in the ocean crashing against your body, the magical energy of the sword. And suddenly, that keenness that it moved with before, now it's like a third appendage. Like you need only think, and it follows, and there's no delay. The reaction with this blade is so true to your own intent that you've never quite felt anything like this before. You think about these waves blasting against you, and it reminds you of your hometown, Elmira, where sits this massive shadow dragon, Exonius, who destroyed most of your people and now holds your town hostage. This blade calls out to your memory and feels like but the first of many pieces that shall lead to the end of that shadow dragon. You stand up and you feel your whole body pulsing with this magical energy. You are now in attunement with the blade of the Keeper.
Cool.
All right, and then Thorcus and Rial, you know, that wave that keeps going back and forth between your mind finally becomes true, and no longer are you kind of playing voyeur to the thoughts of the other mind, but now you can walk back and forth betwixt them. And so suddenly you think a thought of like, have we been doing this long enough? And it like goes through and you're like, yeah, this is like the weirdest thing that ever happened. And it like goes back. And so you guys stand up and you can feel that same pulsing magic. You feel it pulse in your hand, Rial, and Thoricus in your opposite hand, you feel that magic pulse. You guys have this mental connection now.
I'm gonna send a test message. Hey, best friend.
New Stone, who dis?
Aww.
Come on back for Big Papa Thorcus.
10-4 high stealth, 10-4.
That's a big game for
You have the wrong number. This is 7.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was Niner.
Darn.
All right, so that's the hour. So that you have spent one more hour of your 24 hours.
Great. Okay,
not
so
that I'm keeping track of that or anything.
okay, I just like sword, and then I'm like do, and I go, let's fucking do this, and I just immediately walk over. I want to walk right over to Brackus, I just want to walk over to him. I put my
Just
sword.
No shit. Boom.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys see Brenner.
Like
just
as they're walking back towards us.
Yeah.
Just be
Oh
like,
my God.
yeah.
going
like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
and
hey
hit us
guys,
with
so
the-
this is how that went.
And you see Brenner exactly walk right past you
Holy.
without any console or ever. She gets to
Yeah.
the doorway, standing between the two totems in the wooden gate that surrounds Brachus the Myard's camp. What do you do at the door?
So I've put my sword away.
Yeah,
I kind of make sure I have no weapon. I'm like, haha. So I have like double swords right now
again, yeah, exactly.
with my
Cross-
shield.
and you feel again that one kind of magically moves almost.
Yeah.
instantly.
So I look at him. I pause. I take a minute to just like actually take a look at him. I want to check him out because I didn't see anything that happened. So I want to gauge like his energy. I want to see how he's doing. So I kind of take a moment to take him in.
Heaviness. Your eyes lay upon the ground around you, dead, rotting earth. The Southlands are not as fertile as the North were, and you see it in the sand kicked around, inside this tent. He's been here a while, seemingly almost on the edge of this cliffside by the town, but not engaging with the town itself. A man who enjoys his solitude. You look up and he's got pretty crudely crafted hide armor. As far as like your soldierly training, you're certainly more well equipped than he, and he doesn't seem to be shifting into a defensive position. He knows you're there, but he doesn't seem to engage. He just stares at the fire.
When I see
I'm like,
Brenor,
hey, Brenor.
I would like to run after her and do the same thing because I need to get to Brachus before her. This is my problem.
So Brenner is standing in the way of the doorway that goes in. So what would you like to do?
Brenor,
I didn't even get to see.
it's my problem. Please get out of the way. Let me deal with this.
So I just kind of like wave. I wave back and I go, I hear you know about monsters.
Yeah. It helps being one.
That's a terrible joke.
Aren't we all? So I kind of step in. So I have a monster that I need to get rid of, and I hear you're the one that knows how, or at least knows what happened with it.
What's that?
The Medusa?
His eyes glaze over even more.
Yeah, buddy.
Talking about Baraka. Those
Yeah.
fools and their Raka. That damn religion. A bunch of bullshit! He kicks this little, sitting stool that was by the fire, and it skitters across kicking up dirt and bumping into the wooden gate that surrounds the tent. He grabs himself in composure.
While he's talking and while we're talking, I just kind of slowly try to casually, comfortably just make my way to go sit down because I'm going to talk to him.
All right, so there's still yet another sitting stool.
Yeah.
As you approach, you open that pathway, Tina, you see that Brenner steps into the place before you. You sit
I'm
down.
gonna hang in the door frame.
Okay. You're in the doorway here. Brenner, you slowly move forward, with your hand on the log, start shifting down into the seat. See, he looks over at you. You're gonna have to tell him. Someone's gotta tell him. I thought I recognized your friend's face. Pivot. Pivot. Divot. Pivot. I remember him. Those were sad days. You,
What was...
is that you, Tina?
Nope.
No.
What was that?
You see, he looks. You. Could you tell him? Do you know? You don't know. Oh, fate's a son of a looks back at the fire.
Care to be a little less vague here? I mean, I'm just trying to. I just want to know, like, we have a serpent queen to kill. I just need to know something.
What do you want to know?
I want to know if the rumors are true.
Oh yeah, she's down there. They got her in a pit. They feed her. Part of the raka. That's what they call their god. Bit of a monster, you'd say. They don't treat her good. She didn't look good very last time I saw her.
When was that?
I don't even know anymore.
Well, we have to make our way down there. Is there any advice that you have for how to defeat her?
Don't look at her. That's how she gets you. If you see her, it's too late. Dark magic she's got. Many men failed the test.
Gotcha. All right. Now, what was the other thing that you were fucking talking about now?
Your friend there.
This one? I point at Tina.
The old buck.
Oh.
I step into the room. No. He doesn't mean divot.
No, he's pointing at you, Tina.
Yeah.
They called you by your father's last name.
Yeah, you're using the wrong name.
See,
That's not my name anymore.
what's in
Did
your
you
name?
hear me? That's not my name anymore.
A name's a funny thing. Touches upon family, heritage.
Family. What
secrets.
family?
You don't know. You really don't know. He leans forward. You can smell his breath from 10 feet away. This man has been drinking for days. He looks piercing right into your eyes, his eyes floating amidst the booze in his body. You really don't know.
All right. I'll bite. What don't I know?
That toughback. Your
What?
friend.
What?
Don't call him that.
Sits back
Yeah.
and slams the last
Don't.
drink.
Don't use that slur.
I'm just telling it like it is, love. I know who that is. It was me that took him. Brought him to South Rock. And you know why? Because Shren Oldbuck went around and fucked around on his wife.
Oh, word?
Best friend, did you hear that?
I heard him, my friend.
All right. Well.
You see, he goes, that man, your friend.
Brother.
You share blood with him, Tina.
Oh, you were trying to get that.
He's an old buck, just like you. And that is where we're gonna pick it up next time.
Oh, God.
All right. Woo.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey,
Ooh,
I knew that.
I knew, but you didn't know. I knew that. This
Oh.
time, and now you know too. Woo! All right. Woo!
Wow.
D&D.
I'm
Yes.
sweaty. I'm sweaty.
Oh my goodness! What?
Ooh. All right, dudes. Ooh, that is how you play some motherfucking D&D. All
So
right, everybody.
Halfling?
Ooh, we are always going to be here Tuesday at 8 o'clock. This is our spot. This is our bad time, our bad channel. Please join us all the time. Party with us in chat. It is phenomenal if you haven't experienced it. It is a party in its own right. Thanks to everybody for all your support and reaching out, and please continue to do so. Drop your memes and your fan art and stuff at that WeeDnD Hub page on. It's a group on Facebook, and we've got all the social medias. We're at Twitter at Art Heart Studios, Instagram at Art Heart Studios. Art Heart Studios. And now, thank you guys. I want to thank the cast because holy crap, they were on fire tonight.
Oh, that was amazing.
Ooh.
Yeah, thank
I
you
don't
guys.
think-
What a great cast.
I'm sorry, we didn't get in a fight tonight.
We didn't need to.
But the eating was good, so
Oh, yeah,
I had seconds
didn't
for
fight.
sure. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you being here, absolutely, and it is our absolute joy to bring you something fun and silly during this time where there's not enough fun or silliness. So thanks for being a part of our party. Catch up on any of our stuff over at YouTube. Okay, hang out on Twitch. Reach out to us. Let's be best friends and just have a great time and party together. If I could,
Rial's my best friend. Called it.
Rial's my
Orga's
best
my best friend.
Precious.
We could all
Brenner and I are getting pretty close.
getting pretty.
Yeah, we yelled at each other. That's what best friends do.
Yeah.
I'm a pork chop guy.
All right, dudes. Let's go ahead
got
and
you, brother.
go with our closing ceremonies here, and we are gonna go lighters up. Awesome. Thanks for being with us, guys. Oof! That D&D made my liver quiver.
Ooh.
So what? You can't touch me, 'cause I'm from the internet.